Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to not Grinders Live, not Crunch Time. No, we're a little self-indulgent here because we're putting together the RotoGrinders basketball game draft here on RotoGrinders.com, on YouTube. And of course, we're going to have daily fantasy content. That's going to come up after us. But we're going to have fun for, I don't know, the next 40 minutes or so, making fun of each other, drafting the squads that are going to take down the big round-robin basketball game that's happening at the RotoGrinders party next weekend. I, of course, am Dan Bach. We've got Kevin Roth from Crunch Time. We've got JSU from Crunch Time, and we've got Big T from the Print Factory. And, boys, we're going to be drafting a bunch of overweight has-been DFS players. What could be better for 40 minutes, right? What's going on, Roth?
I'm so excited for this. I'm going to crush the three of you so bad. There are two things I do. I do weather and I do basketball. And I'm not letting you jabronis beat me in what I do. I am a hooper. You guys are going to get run out. I got a whole draft board. I've got everybody picked. My squad, they could be sick. They could suck. It doesn't matter. I'm dunking on each and every one of you, especially you, JSU.
Well, here's the thing. When you dunk, make sure it's not on that 8.5-foot rim that you
10.
did that. No.
10 and the rim was tilted a little.
You definitely did not have a 10-foot rim when you did that mixtape like 2 years ago saying, look at me. And then you dunked on a CrossFit basketball rim that clearly wasn't 10 feet. Right. JSU, last year you were the biggest surprise out of all the players that we had. So much so that you became captain. And are you ready to draft? Because there's a lot of people in this draft, and I'm sure there's a lot of people you don't even have a clue who they are.
Well, DB, not only am I captain, but I'm number one. And we can say, we can say all we want that, it came out and I'm picking 1, Big T 2, Roth 3, DB 4. But we all know that this was just the order in which the best players were set at, right? So I'm
shortest players.
Yeah.
Shortest players.
No, it can't be because Big T's 2 and he's the tallest one here. So, it can't be that. But I'm just saying, we had a DK pricing sheet that came out months ago. I think Mangone tweeted it out. And Big T, you have it on your wall. I'm trying to find it right now, but you have it on your wall. So tell the people who the highest priced player on DraftKings was from that RG game.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but I do know that you didn't win a game against me last year at this party.
I also
Was
had
that
to
crickets
guard.
after that? Was that crickets after that one?
I also had to guard Big T.
How are you going to
Big
get the one hole, and how are you going to be higher priced when you didn't get a single W last year over me?
It doesn't matter. It's performance, man.
Oh.
I showed out. What can I do? Like I can't.
And
I can
we
only
got a
do
big
so
$1,000
much.
game coming too. I mean, I can't. I mean, you know how easy that. First of all, I'm gonna
Oh,
own you.
hold on a second. Hold on. Big T says in this one-on-one game that he's not even going to try and back me down. He's just going to shoot over me.
Like shooting
DB,
over a chair. I said.
what are the odds that Big T just stays out and tries to shoot over me all game?
You know, Tony, I will say this much. Tony has a better jump shot than you would think. But I will say this much. If you guys actually do some sort of one-on-one game for like
we're playing for 1,000.
Okay. Oh, I don't want you to play for 1,000.
No,
I
we
want
are,
you
though.
to Well, listen, let me explain
Okay.
why I don't want you to play for 1,000. What I want you to play for is for JSU's TV setup, because you clearly freaking need a new one. And if you lose or if you win, you should be able to get his TV setup. And then if JSU wins, then you can ship him a grant.
If I win, can
His
I just
setup
keep
is
mine and not take his?
Dude,
Well,
Big
no.
T, done, bro. I'll come over to your house. We'll set it up. I'll get the TVs. We'll set it all up, dude. I got you, all right? This is my thing, right? I set this all up. So I'm in for that. Hey, that's
I
probably
like
more
it.
than $1,000. 5 TVs?
Yeah.
Come
I
on,
hope
man.
so. I mean, I would hope so.
Anything to improve your 32-inch setup that you've got going there. Big
I'll show
T
you
will be
something
good.
32 inches.
Christ.
All right. Before we get going, this is kind of the structure. It's going to be a snake draft. It's going to be a round robin tournament. It's going to be happening Super Bowl Sunday, the morning of. So there's a lot of factors to look at because we've got a office party Saturday night. So there's probably going to be a number of people who are drafted who get completely schnockered and don't even make it to the game. Okay. Then you're probably going to get, guys who just randomly show up and want to play and saying, hey, why can't I play? Because you didn't join the Slack chat. That's why. So, we've got some things to consider when we're making our drafts. But before we do that, I think we need to throw some shade at some people who are not playing in this game. And I mean, Roth, we've got a former Division I basketball player who was refusing to step on the court and play, and he is your coworker.
No, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed to be friends with Meansy. This is literally the most disappointed I've ever been in any human ever of all time. Meansy not playing. He's a basketball player, and he's just literally not going to play with a bunch of old washed up people because he's embarrassed. Like he thinks we're going to run him out of the gym. That is so sad. Meansy, get your shit together, man. Good God. I'm still drafting him, by the way. He's on my draft board, even though he said he's not playing. I'm picking him down the line, and we'll see.
I just wanted to take a charge against somebody who went to Duke, just to be that guy, in your face, Coach K style. That's what I wanted to do.
He's out. That was hugely disappointing. Did anybody else not make it that should have? Hoop. There's Hoop, who is a question
Hoop is just embarrassing, too. I mean, I'm embarrassed. You said you're embarrassed for him. I'm freaking embarrassed for Hoop. Like it's embarrassing. It's terrible.
Yeah. All right. Well, we don't need him.
He's still on the draft board though. I think DB's got a hidden agenda with Hoop. Like we were trying to get him off, and he's like, "No, he's still on if he comes." Like I think they might have a little something in the works for us.
I don't know anything of what you're talking about, Cody.
Okay.
I have no idea.
If
We're quiet. All I'm saying is they both have been quiet. That neither one of them has responded to me.
If we're doing like the ringer thing, Big T, I think he's trying to do like a ringer thing where he's trying to pick guys that he's going to fly down here. Like if that's the case, my girlfriend, she's out. I'll bring one of my friends to come.
You don't need friends to beat DB and Hoop. Like
I don't need friends to beat DB. That was meant for your team, Tony. That was meant for your team, buddy.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm the oldest, fattest, well, maybe not the fattest, no offense. But I'm definitely the oldest one here. So, I don't know how I got the fourth pick in this draft anywhere. I think it's pretty unfair.
You got the stacked deck. You're the only one with the full scouting reports.
Yeah, and you got the back-to-backs. You got the back-to-back picks.
Is there anyone so good that you would want the first pick? Is there – I guess we'll find out soon. But I don't even know if there's a consensus number one pick.
I guarantee DB's got 2 picks up his sleeve already. I guarantee it.
100%.
He's probably got 2 names on his list right now, and one of them better be Tuttle from the 19 screens he set you every trip.
Hey,
a couple years ago.
I do like good fundamental basketball, and anybody who's from Wisconsin, living in Wisconsin, they know how to play that style of game. So, all right, are we ready to get going here? Because hey, we do have Grinders Live still happening, so let's get this draft underway and get into it. Roth, nope, JSU, you've got the first pick in the inaugural RotoGrinders 2020 draft. Who you take?
Yeah, so I'm going to take – this guy's an OG, man. It has to be my first pick, and I actually know he plays basketball, so that's another good thing, even though he hasn't played in years, and told me literally not to take him with my first pick. But I'm taking Noto, man. That's my guy.
Yeah.
That's the number one pick. So, Notorious, I'm sorry, bro. You said second round, but you're number one.
Did anyone have anyone other than Noto as the first pick? Yeah.
I definitely did not have Noto number one because I'm going to get my boy who I wanted, and I'm happy about it now.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Oh God,
there was only one number one pick for me.
Who is that?
I mean, we got to. D-Train said we got to wait 15 seconds before we can transition.
I think that was 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Apparently, we've got cool graphics for all of the players, which we can't see. So it might be really funny and really good, but we don't know what they are. So
for Notos, it says likely to play in a backwards hat.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
That's good.
So anyways, the real number one pick, I mean, there's only one question. It took me a while. I did have to write all the names down, and then it came clear who should be the number one pick. I was glad it was never on JSU's radar.
Oh, God.
But he's the originator of the man's coin, baby. Let's go.
Oh,
wow.
So
let's go.
That was not,
So-
I mean,
Funny you
Let's
said
go.
that. Funny you said that because Noto, in my messages with him, told me he knows one other player who he knows for sure is okay at basketball, and it was Overzet. And he said he might not be a bad option either. He was trying to get me to pull him as the first pick.
I mean, this guy, I knew I had to take him when it hit me. We've been talking trash about a mile race, and he's like talking about running it in 5.5 minutes. And then it just hit me like, I got to take this guy. Yeah. He's a winner. I mean, how could you not take a man's coin? Like, we'll play with man's coins in our pockets. That's what winners do.
I'm just happy that Overzet didn't get on Roth's team because those two have way too much muscle for one team. It would not have been fair. Tony, on the other hand, like he's fake big. So like
fake big.
He's fake
big.
He's not real big. He's just fake big. So Roth and him would have scared me. Roth and Tony, I think we can handle that.
All right. Well, I wanted Mans, but now that he's gone, I wanted Noto, but he's gone. But I got a sleeper pick here. Uh-oh. It's the man whose jumper is always right. It's Charlie Wright. You may not know who Charlie Wright is. He's
Charlie,
new.
I was talking him up to JSU. He made fun of me.
I am taking a sleeper pick. Number one, give me Charlie Wright.
Sleeper if you know he's good.
Hold on a second.
Talking to him in Discord, and I was like, "Hey man, do you hoop?" And he's like, "I'm pretty good. Like I played high school. I run some intramurals.
Wow.
I think the guy could hoop. I'm pretty sure he's good. I don't know him, but I think he's good, and he's my number one pick."
Hold on, Big T. I did not say I was not shitting on you for that. I was literally just saying you're looking at this guy's photo and trying to figure out if he plays basketball or not.
I was just saying.
Yeah, he looked like a hooper. That's why I reached out. I saw his photo and I was like, "This dude looks like a hooper," and he is. He most definitely is. So by the way, we should like track our own teams because otherwise we're going to do all this and then I have no idea who's on our team, right?
Yeah, somebody's going to keep track, right?
Right.
I got a list going here. Don't worry about my sheet right
just
here.
Making sure.
All right, that leaves me on the board, and this one's a risky one because I actually know for a fact he was really good back in the day, but I also know for a fact that he's old. He's got some physical issues. But here's the deal. We're only playing for like 3 hours. I only need 3 hours out of you, Soccer Dave. You are the first round draft pick.
You guys are gonna get pounded.
He knows the fundamentals. I think he and I will work very well together out there. So I'm gonna go with Soccer Dave as my first.
We got our
pick.
last place team officially locked in.
Hey, like I say, I played with him once out in the Bahamas, and I liked what I saw.
That was like 8 years ago.
Well, hey, whatever. It's something to go on.
I don't know if you guys are aware, but he's on a regular exercise routine now.
He is.
I'm not sure you've seen the tweets that he constantly tweets. So there it is.
So, Soccer Dave, just don't get hurt in this week leading up, because there's definitely a chance that could happen, and then my first round pick goes out the window. All right. So that's my first round pick.
Yeah.
Snake draft. That means I got a second one.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've got to, there's a couple guys I really want to take here, but I'm also thinking like, okay, we've got 2 anchors who are old guys. I need to go younger here. So he says he can play. I don't know. I know he's young, looks athletic. Kyle Murray going to be the second pick for me, first pick in round 2. The youngster out of Michigan. So, Kyle Murray, don't let me down. Be as good as the real Kyler Murray.
He was next on my. He was like the number 2 guy on my board here. I feel like that was a good pick.
I like it.
I talked to him too. I think he's got game. All right, that brings me back up. And JSU, you talked about OGs. You talked about somebody who's they've been around. They understand the game. They know the game. This is a RotoGrinders cornerstone. It's Stevie. You got to go with Stevie.
Oh, he's the big man.
I need some size. I need the big fella.
He's got some
going to be easier than I thought.
Give me Stevie. I want Stevie. He's a fellow Tampa guy.
Wow.
So give me Stevie.
JSU, they're making it too easy on us here. I mean, what is happening?
I'm just happy that we've got subs, because he's going to need one.
He's going to make it like 2 trips. I mean, I don't even know how to follow those bad picks up. Like, what? I mean, what are you guys doing? Are you trying to lose?
No, I feel pretty good about my squad here. So you're up, Big T.
Stevie filmed us last year. That's how bad a shape he's in.
I didn't know that.
He did not even play. That's a good point.
He was literally standing there filming.
This was an ill-informed choice.
I mean, you could have he was like a last-round selection. You just took way too early.
Oh, it's hard to make like a 6'8" guy last round.
Right.
Selection.
Oh,
yeah.
I pray he guards me for the record. Please guard me, Stevie. Please guard me, Stevie. Man, I got too many selections now to pick. Like, this is too hard. There's too many good guys left. I still got my 2, 3, and 4th selection on my sheet.
Really?
Wow.
That's how bad you guys draft.
Let's go with your second.
All right. Well, let's go here.
The problem is I need to think of who JSU is not going to pick, which is true.
That's true.
Man, and it's a tough one.
Game
I mean,
theory here.
I think I'm going to go with loyalty. I mean, you guys made bad picks.
Crane, right?
Oh,
That's your,
I'm going to go with loyalty. I mean, he told me I need to be loyal. You guys made bad picks.
Oh, no, you're taking
I'm going with my boy Kirkwood. He said to get him. I'm getting him. Welcome to the team, Kirkwood.
He's definitely throwing up. 100% he will puke during this game.
Oh, he's on the squad.
You know what? That was my next pick. Big T knew it. He stole him. Kirkwood, what can I say? But
no, you weren't going to take him. Don't talk him up now. I got loyalty.
Yeah, loyalty. Okay, sure. So we found the pricing sheet, people.
Oh, Jesus.
Mangone was good enough to send it over, and I sent it to Devin, and I don't know if Devin's ready with this. Oh, we got it on the top screen?
Yep, it's on screen.
Okay, well, perfect, because we can clearly see the pricing, boys. This is alarming because the only 9K player is your boy.
You're 4'8". You can't be that good.
Then we've got Big T, next at, the 8K range, mid 8s. I accept that, maybe You could have bumped him up to 9, but, that's all right. It's okay. Roth, you're coming in at 7K. You're that,
egregious
mid-tier,
It's a value play right there, ladies and gentlemen.
And then DB is the value play at 5,400, which I didn't really agree with. I'm not gonna lie. Having Head Chopper ahead of DB, I don't know about that, man.
That is atrocious. Oh my god.
All right, JSU.
Okay,
give us a pick.
JSU, you got 2 picks here.
Well, so the first one's easy. I'm going with my guy Cam. This guy's in the gym. Yeah. This guy's working out. He's like me. He's a little bigger, but that's all right. But I will tell you one thing. Cam can attest to this. Cam did not like me guarding him for those basketball games. I'll tell you that right now.
He did not like a 4'3" dude guarding him.
4'3". I'm 5'5.5". All right.
If there's a Brian Cardinal in this game, it's Cam McMillan, 100%.
Yeah,
he's probably gonna wear knee pads. Definitely gonna be doing calisthenics before the game starts for sure.
I'll do it with them. I'll do it with them.
So you'll probably do some.
We got to talk about something real quick though. When we were shaming people, Mangone made this little pricing chart. How is he not in the game? He face plants during a race last year into the carpet, and then he just retires from all physical activity.
Probably a good idea, really.
Yeah, it's a good point. He should retire. We accept Mangone. You should have retired. We agree.
All right, JSU, you get another one.
All right, so this is where we really just I don't know. I come to this spot and I'm like, I know nobody else's basketball ability. So now I'm just going off name, don't even have pictures, some of these guys, but I just got to take one and hope he's good. So, I'm going with another John, which is how I got this pick, John Daigle as my next pick. So John Daigle, welcome to the squad and good first name.
Do we have a scouting report on John Daigle?
I actually do. He's one of the guys that I do. He says, this is the scouting report. I can hustle. I can rebound, but don't expect me to shoot. Don't expect me to shoot. Okay? That's what he said.
Listen, I'll take a hustle. I'll take a guy who hustles and tries. Come on, that's all I want.
Let me go to the bottom of my board to delete John Daigle off it.
Oh, man.
Was he above Stevie?
I think Stevie, I can't imagine Stevie being bad, but I'm starting to worry.
I think he might be good for the 2 trips he's in.
Right.
All right, Big T, you're back on the board.
I just got a message from my new teammate that said, who'd you just pick? Daigle is not athletic, is all it said.
Oh, man.
Great. I mean,
it was the first name that got me, honestly. There was no picture on him. What do you want?
How do you go with a guy with no picture when there's other people who you
could see? Big T analyzing people's looks and just being
we're about W's on Team Big T. Don't worry about what we
All right, Big T. What's your next W?
You're up.
I don't want him to screen me, and I like him. So I'm going with Mr. Tuttle, baby. He can't screen me if he's on my team.
Hold on.
Tuttle. Welcome to the team.
Goodness. Yeah. You sat there talking all this stuff. Oh, you need Tuttle for your screen.
Yeah, he's going to screen you now. We're going to replay this the opposite direction, baby. Let's go, Tuttle.
Or I just got a text from Stevie, and he just texted me, and it just says, terrible pick. I'm not sure. Crap. All right. It's okay. I can make up for it right here. All right. So I'm going with the guy again. Never seen this guy play. I've never seen him in real life. He's young. He's in shape. And he's at least very funny. So that'll be fun. I'm going with JJ, what up, shit sticks, Apricina.
Oh, the Dunkle. Uncle Dunkle. With
I'm
his
going
20-inch pythons.
Yep. Going
Dunkle
with
was the next one on my list.
Dunkle could go one of 2 ways. He could be pretty good, or he could be the meathead who is just absolutely terrible.
I think he's the meathead.
At sports, because he's a big dude, and a lot of times those big dudes at the gym, you put a basketball or a baseball or something, and next thing you know, there's a reason they lift weights because that's all they can do.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We'll see.
We'll see.
But maybe he'll be that guy running around hacking people, and I want that. I want that on my team. So JJ, welcome to the squad.
All right. I can't believe this guy slipped all the way down here because he was at the party last year, and I liked what I saw. And I think he fits the theme of this team really, really well. So all aboard the Chief, Will Priester, baby. I love it. Chief Justice is going to be on this team right here.
All right.
Team DB.
You get double picks again, DB.
What'd you think of the Chief there last year, Tony? You saw him.
I like the Chief's my boy. The Chief, he grinds. I mean, he struggled a little bit out there, but I like him. He brings good mojo though too. I like that.
Yeah,
he was definitely he was next up on my list, so I like the Chief.
All right, so we got the Chief now. Okay, I'm gonna go with this is gonna be a complete unknown, total guess here. But I love the fact that he's active in the channel. Okay, he's interested. He's like trying to get his name out there, and he works, of course, on the news side of things. So we at the RG we don't interact with them all that much. But Mr. Ryan Gutzler, whoever you are, welcome to the squad, man. I feel like you're gonna fit in. I feel like you're gonna put in the effort, and that's what I'm looking for. So Ryan Gutzler.
He's a player. He's a player. I was just talking with him. He said I think he's going to be a good pick.
Did you talk to everyone in the draft?
I talked to literally everyone except Stevie. I just assumed Stevie was good. I talked to every other person. And I just picked Stevie blindly. Oh, man. All right. Getting rid of Gutzler. All right.
Okay, Roth, you're up next.
Okay. Look, I've got some friends. And some of those friends are also athletic, and some of them also have such great math skills that they can outmath you on the court.
No.
I want the creator CEO of the Blitz and the Bat. I want Derek. My math is greater than your athleticism, Cardi, on my squad.
Complete unknown great. What we're getting into with Cardi here. Right?
Cardi said, and I think he's got to be full of shit, but in the chat, Cardi said, I'm not going to be able to dunk like I used to. And I was like,
maybe the Nerf hoop,
what are the odds that Cardi could dunk?
No way.
Yeah.
Zero chance.
Zero.
Yeah, I don't like it. But anyways, I like that he's on my team. Oh, boy, my squad's looking good. Got a little Cardi party.
I mean, my team's like minus 400 with only 4 dudes. We don't even need anyone else. I mean, it's too easy.
Well, then give up your pick.
No.
Just give up your pick.
Should I pick Hoop knowing he's not even coming?
We're starting to get to that level where you can.
Hoop ain't coming. I'm not
starting to get to that level here.
When Big T says Hoop ain't coming, I'm not picking him. That's when you know he's like probably not coming.
He's not coming. There's no way. Like he's ignored me all week. Like what only Hoop can do when he knows he's not coming. Like.
All right, we got like 10 minutes here.
My team's so good. So I seen a picture of him from like 40 years ago when he played football. He's my boy. We did the showdowns for 2 years.
I love it.
Head Chopper, welcome to the team, Chop.
I mean, that was a lock. Like, if we didn't get Big T and Chopper together on a team.
Yeah. Let's go, Chop.
Now, I'm very curious what his little player card says because I feel like that could go a lot of different ways for Team Head Chopper.
The man with the $1 million jumper. How about that?
Oh, look at that. I like it. He can afford to get some shooting lessons. That's true.
All right, let's see. JSU, you're up.
Yeah, so I am running completely blind here still, and I'm going to take 2 guys that, I don't know at all. Never met in my life.
I can't believe you're not taking your boy. I'm just saying.
Who's my boy?
I mean, your boy is still out there. Okay. I mean, if you forgot who you hosted Crunch Time with all these.
Oh no, I remember him. He's not on my squad. He said he was gonna use a Euro step on me in the channel, so I took him out of my player pool.
Okay, out of the player pool
because I want to see him do it. Because obviously, if you're gonna talk that, good luck. By the way, you're not actually gonna be able to do that, but that's fine. So I'm going with Brian, and I'm going to butcher this last name, but Auergen. I don't know how to say his last name.
Cruising. You're taking cruising.
You're not walking to victory. You're cruising to victory.
There you go.
Man.
There you go.
Listen,
Again,
like,
no nothing.
I'll tell you what. Not a good pick.
Yeah.
DB, you give me a good pick right now, bro.
No, I mean, I'm. Hey, it's up to you to.
And then I'm going with Matt Ryboltowski. I can't say his last name either, but
all right,
that's a strong pick. I talked with Matt. He and I had a conversation. I think Matt's a good pick for you. That was nicely done. Yeah.
Hey, got to go with the unknowns, man. Got to take shots.
But cruising.
I'm a GPP player. What do you want? Like,
I mean, cruising. I feel like there's a better than average chance he gets hurt. Okay, I mean, just telling you. So.
All right, Big T on the board.
Man, it's getting thin down here. It's getting thin. I'm not sure where to go.
Some plays. We still got some players.
Yeah, this is good.
I mean, how can I? If he's producing our show and he does all this work for us, like, how do I not take the D train? Let's go D train. Join the winning team, baby.
I'll tell you what. You know, he'll show up in low tops and shorty shorts.
I'm in for it.
And he'll be having a carrot dog on the way in. But you know what? Devin is probably one of like the most like true athletic guys at RG. He doesn't have to know how to do anything, but he shows up and he's still really.
Does he know how to get W's? Because that's what he's going to be doing.
All right. We'll see. I love that pick. He was definitely on my radar.
And you know, he's in shape. The guy bikes to work. He bikes to work. So you know he's in great shape. He can run all day. Yeah, that's a good pick.
That's a good pick.
All right. I got two guys on my board, and I don't know which way I'm going to go. All right. I want the most fashionable man on the court. I want the guy with the sharpest haircut on the court. Give me SBK.
Oh, SBK, man, he was next up for my pick.
I think SBK is going to be a player, so I'm going to add him to the squad.
I really wanted SBK because he and Soccer Dave, it's literally like husband and wife. So like they just
they need to be together.
It would have been perfect.
We can talk a trade.
If you want to talk trade, I would be interested in bringing him over. All right, so I've got two right here. Okay. Man.
Train's still on the board.
He is, and
crazy.
He's probably gonna stay there. Let's go with man. Let's see. Who's I gonna go with? I had him. Man, I don't know if I trust you, Holden. I don't know if I trust you.
You don't.
Man, this is
take him so I can just dominate you guys together. Please.
Man, you totally screwed me up when you took SBK. I didn't think you were going to take him there. All right, we'll go with Holden Kushner. Let's do it.
Okay. Holden D's nuts Kushner.
Holden D's nuts Kushner.
We just got to. I just got to next on my board. Grant. I mean, Grant and Mangone got to be on this list. How are they not on here?
Because they didn't ask to join the chat. So like
they're not playing.
You know,
they're out.
We'll see if somebody like doesn't show or something. Like maybe we can make it happen, but I can't. You know, we put it in the general chat like 5-6 times, right? Like if you want to go in, ping us. All right, I got one more here. Okay, I'm gonna go with this is risky.
Don't snake it. Don't do it.
You know what? I'm actually gonna go a little riskier here because if you like, it's one thing if you're like Crane or Horrigan or Jamino, like somebody who is part of Team RG and you want to be a part of the game. But if you're like working on the US bet side of things, if you're one of our journalists, you kind of got to have game, you'd think, to want to like cross over and get into this, right? Yeah. So I'm going to go with Chris Altruda, who it says Midwest US guy. Hey, I grew up in Chicago. I'm a Midwest guy. So Chris Altruda, welcome to the team, my man.
He was high on my board, DB. He was high on my board.
Hey,
almost at the end of the draft.
Hey, If you want to do an Altruda for SPK trade, you know, I might be.
Yeah, he was high on your board, Rob. Get in there.
Slide in another pick with that. All right, look, I was thinking
Obviously
about
not
it.
high enough.
Yeah, there's only 2 people here that are world record holders. One is me for longest through the leg shot in the world. That's me. Check it out, Guinness Book of World Records. The other one is Eli Fast Clapping Bishop. We've got a guy at RotoGrinders who literally is the world record holder for hand claps. That's athleticism. It's going to apply perfectly to the basketball game. Give me Eli.
If we need a good fiddle player for halftime, you definitely have the guy to do it. Okay.
All right.
Eli. It was literally between him and Altruda. So good pick.
All right.
I just love that Tony's going to end up with Crane. This is
How many picks are left?
There can't be that many more, right?
There's
We
one,
get, like,
2, 3,
more picks.
There's like 4 or 5 more picks
We can't have 4. Oh, like total.
total.
So we each get like maybe 2 more picks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, someone just said Eli said he's not playing. What is this bullshit? He was in the channel. Eli, you're playing.
We're gonna have bench guys anyways. We'll talk them into playing. Mangone and Grant, they can be replacements or something.
All right.
We're
starting to get into hoop territory here.
You can have Mangone. You can have Mangone.
I might pick him. Are we allowed to pick Mangone and Grant?
Sure.
I mean,
if they don't come, they don't come, right? We should all
Grant's
pick 8
actually
people.
big. Like I might have taken him already.
Well, I'm not going to take him anyways. We should all pick 8 people, even if they're not going to come.
Okay, sounds good. So
I'll take my boy Hoop so I can shame him. I don't think he's coming, but I'll shame
if
him
he comes,
anyway.
it's over though. Like if
He's
he
not
comes,
coming, but it's fine. I'll put him on the team just so I can make fun of him.
All right.
Yeah,
JSU.
What pick are we on?
I think that was my 7th, I think.
You got 2 here.
Pick?
Yeah, I got 7 dudes. Well, I got 6 in Hoop, so I got 6.
All right, who am I missing?
So these are your last 2 picks. This is the
No,
last-
I
So
see
listen.
a couple guys.
So listen, Crane's out for me. That guy, he's betting against me with Roth, so I'm
He's
not
the one that
taking
said he was
Crane.
going to Euro you?
No, Holden said that. but I'm saying
Holden.
he said you guys have the bet about me and Roth, so I'm not taking Crane. He can't be on Team JSU. Come on. So there's only like what 3 people left? Like,
No, there's 1, 2, 3. There's like everybody should have two picks left.
Just
I
find
think
a
there's-
name that's not picked.
I got Jamino, Gary, Scott, Crane, Grant, Mangone.
Okay,
Grant and Mangone are in this now.
We don't know if they're coming, but they're on the list if they come.
What? No. All right,
I mean-
I'm going with Jamino. Jamino's the next pick. That's my guy. I'm taking Jamino.
Jamino.
How's no one picked Scott yet? Isn't he he's like a soccer player? He's athletic.
Well, he's got another pick, damn it.
I need to help him out. His team's terrible.
He's high on my board. He's high on my
High
board.
on your board. It's your last pick.
There's my next pick, my guy Scott, who I just kept scrolling over.
He's just sucking up to all the content bosses. That's exactly what he's doing. Way to go, JSU.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right, they just want to be on pod all together. Like, let's do it.
So you got 8 people, right, JSU?
Do I have 8? Well, I got one who's a lock to get hurt.
Who?
You know, I don't know. Whoever you guys said was a lock to get hurt.
Cruising.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
All right, Big T,
I got
you're
7.5.
back up.
Yeah, we got 2 minutes.
So we got 4. Give me Mangone. I'll take them. I'll talk him into coming.
Man.
Mangone will come. I'll get him in there.
All right. So what's the ruling if we're drafting random people? What's the ruling here?
We got enough people to draft them. Mangone, Grant.
Well, what I'm saying is if we're drafting random people, do I get to draft Meansy and try to shame him? But I get my chance to try to shame him into playing.
He just showed up in the
There's
RG
no chance
basketball
that
chat
man's playing.
right now.
Pick him. He ain't going to play.
Yeah, he's not going to play.
I'm picking Meansy. Meansy, we got this. You can do it. Come on. Don't be afraid. It's going to be all right.
You don't want to play Meansy. Just stay away. Okay.
Come on. It's going to be fun. We're going to run shit.
Away.
Let's go, Means.
All right. So I've got 2 more picks here, right? And that means I'm going to roll with, let's see. We've got, who's left? Gary's left. We've got, Grant. I'll take Grant. Okay. There's, he's probably going to show up like, I don't know what he's going to show up. Like, this is
probably
unpredictability of Grant.
And drunk.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to get into with Grant. And I've seen him swing a golf club, and he can hit it a mile. So, sure, I'll take Grant. And now it boils down to, I want to take Gary, the 60-year-old, who is acknowledged that he's really old, but he's good for his age. Or do I want to take Crane?
Are those the 2 that's left?
I believe that's all that's left, right?
And I get the last one here. I get your scraps.
I love it.
Mr. Irrelevant will not be Gary Rothstein. Gary, the 60-year-old, join the team, buddy. You are in with us.
Crane.
You guys picked Crane after a 60-year-old.
I just got hit up from Cruising. He told me, "Don't you worry, I'm not getting hurt. I've been working out with Cam for almost 2 years now."
Oh, that's true.
So that is a good sign. I said, "Let's go." So
hey, I got news for you. Cam got hurt last year, so I don't know what that says. So
that was a freak accident. Come on, knock on wood, man. Something. Let's go.
So that means the final pick, Roth. You got to make it, Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah, give me Pain Train Crane. You want him on my squad? We're gonna crush it, Crane. I'm glad I have you. I was gonna pick you way higher up. You were high on my board, Crane. You were high on my board.
Crane and Stevie are just gonna be It's gonna be
you got Crane and Stevie on your team. That's the best.
And apparently Eli's not playing, so all of the guys are actually going to have to play.
So what is our side wager on this? We didn't talk no side terms. Because there's no way my team's losing.
I don't feel very good about it.
I don't. We'll figure something out on site. We got to get out of here. We've got real daily fantasy basketball to talk. Grinders Live is coming up next. I can almost guarantee you there will be some sort of video of these games. Somebody will put it up on social media. We're having a lot of fun here with us. Thanks so much for watching, and don't even be surprised if somebody comes up with some sort of like DFS game for this. I just have a hunch things will be happening here in the week leading up to it. Grinders Live up next for Tony, JSU, and Roth. I'm Dan Bach. See ya.
What's up, guys? It's Friday. What does that mean? Happy hour time. Some of my favorite value plays for the night on FanDuel, Draftkings, and Yahoo. And, of course, my favorite play of the night. Who is it? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. Good to be back here in the Fantasy Bar once again to close out the week here. Nice slate of games for us here on a big Friday night. 6 guys fresh off the tap for you. Some of my favorite value plays, guys that are underpriced across the different sites. A lot to get into here today, but let's check some boxes first. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you know when the videos are coming out. And if you enjoy the videos, you enjoy your time here in the Fantasy Bar, very simple. All I ask you to do, click that thumbs up button, guys. Really helps us out over there on YouTube, so thank you for that. Next, make sure you go and download the Sharpside app. That's right, the contest rolls on, absolutely free to play. All you have to do, lock in your favorite bets, go on a streak. The longer the streak goes, once you reach 6, you start winning some free FanDuel cash. And as we said, the longer the streak, the more money you can win. Lock those bets in, but a great app to get props, spreads, totals, all the information. It's going to help you become a better sports bettor, daily fantasy player, whatever it may be. You can get all that information on the Sharpside app. All right, we got all that out of the way. Let's start diving into this slate. Nice slate of games on Friday night. Let's start down low. Power forward center, Jeremy Grant of the Nuggets. So Grant been a frequent visitor here to the Fantasy Bar lately. The reason why Denver remains very short-handed, we know no Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Paul Millsap, now Michael Porter Jr. questionable for tonight. So whether he plays or not, still like Jeremy Grant, playing at a very high level right now, averaging almost 34 FanDuel points a game over his last 3. And you look at this spot, pace-up game, huge total. I think that's good news for Jeremy Grant. A big guy that can get up and down the floor, very athletic here, should see a ton of scoring in this game, and the matchup ideal here. Prices are creeping up. I don't know if they've gone high enough yet, especially that $5,200 number on FanDuel. Cash game playable there, tournament playable everywhere. Love this spot for Jeremy Grant to lead us off here in tonight's six-pack. All right, let's go to the point guard position with more value. Let's go to Indiana. We're going to go with TJ McConnell against the Warriors. Now, you could easily throw Aaron Holiday in this spot as well. So, my advice, keep an eye on the ownership projections throughout the day. Jamino and the team do a great job at projecting that. So, the lower-owned guy, probably the better way to go. I think it'll be TJ McConnell here. Aaron Holiday, the bigger name, and maybe a bigger ceiling as well, but we've seen some great games here out of TJ McConnell lately. When Brogdon went down, McConnell was the guy that came in and played significant minutes the other night, put some big numbers on the board. But recently, 7 or more assists now in 4 of the last 5 games. Doing a good job running this offense. Matchup, about as good as it gets here. Golden State, no matter what metric we want to look at, bottom 5 fantasy points allowed. Defense versus archetype for guys like McConnell. Defensive efficiency. The list rolls on and on and on here. There's value in both guys tonight. I prefer TJ McConnell here against the Golden State Warriors. All right, to the center position, rolling right on. We're going to go right back to the well of Montrezl Harrell of the Clippers. So we had him the other night against Atlanta, paid off big time for us. So I'm going to go right back to the well here. Another good matchup for him under the radar. People see Miami, they avoid it. We'll get to that here in a minute. But you look at the prices here. Once again, price lagging behind on FanDuel, only $6,000 over there. And with some of the big names at center tonight, I think going with a guy like Harrell, who gives you a great ceiling at that price point, will help make your lineups different. From the Jokic, the Towns, guys that are going to roster those guys, you're going to be able to spend up elsewhere. So Harrell on FanDuel makes a lot of sense. Draftkings, even at a $7,200 number, I think is very playable with that ceiling he gives you. Guy can pop off for 50 fantasy points any night of the week and can do it in limited minutes. We know Paul George is out, so they may need him a little bit more, a few more rebounds, a few more opportunities, a little bit more usage here in this one. And we mentioned Miami. We know it's a good defense, but against athletic bigs, against centers, really been a struggle for the Miami Heat this season. Making Montrezl Harrell, I think, a sneaky play here tonight with big time upside. Way too cheap on FanDuel. Take advantage tonight against the Miami Heat. All right, back to Value Town shooting guard, small forward Bogdanović of the Kings. So we start looking at pricing over the season, and this is a guy that we were paying a lot more for early on in the season. I know he dealt with some injuries, slowly coming back, but great buy lows, and we always stress that here. When you get nice prices on guys, let's take advantage of it. Under 5K on FanDuel, barely over that on DraftKings. Prices I want to definitely buy into here tonight. The floor been solid. This guy's generally been in the low 20s. Say, well, that's not very good, Beer. Well, he's not shooting the ball very good. So if that starts to return, we're talking about a 30, 35 point upside at these prices. Now you're talking 6, 7, 8x upside that we're looking for. And you take away a Marvin Bagley, a Rashawn Holmes, and I know those are big, and I know it's going to make guys like Dedmon, Bielitsa very popular here tonight, but Bogdanović can fill some of that scoring punch that they're missing with those guys out of the offense. So a lot of miles here with Fox, Hield, I get that, but Bogdanović, the cheapest of the group, the guy I think will be less owned than all the rest of those guys. At these prices, I'm taking advantage here tonight against the Chicago Bulls. All right, happy hour rolls on here. Next value play at power forward center, Daniel Tice of the Celtics. So another injury situation for us to look at here is Boston. No Enes Kanter tonight. We know Robert Williams remains on the shelf. That means big minutes here for Daniel Tice. Jason Tatum also questionable, which could open up even more minutes at the 4 and the 5 for a guy like Tice, but comes in good form. 31 or more FanDuel points now in 4 of his last 5 games. And some of those were in very limited minutes, so we bumped the minutes up. We have to bump that projection up with it, and the price remains very, very low, under 5K on FanDuel, 53 on DraftKings. I think this guy can easily go 6-7x here. The matchup, not great, no doubt. Orlando been very good against bigs, and number one team in fantasy points allowed against centers. And we've seen time and time again this season, guys dominate and play well in very difficult matchups, and I think that's what happens here with Daniel Theis. I don't think the ownership's going to be there because of the matchup. Let's take advantage here and buy low at a very depressed ownership here. I think Daniel Theis is a nice double-double here tonight and outproduces these salaries against the Orlando Magic. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play on the Friday night slate. But before we do that, guys, we're going to run it back. We're going to say thank you to you guys for supporting the Fantasy Bar and watching the video. Make sure you've already thumbed up the video and subscribed to the channel. But we're going to run our Beast of the Night contest once again, absolutely free to play. All you got to do, get in the comment section right below the video. Tonight we'll go on FanDuel. Fantasy points on FanDuel for my Beast of the Night. Closest guess going to win themselves 3 free days of RotoGrinders Premium. That's going to let you get in there and access everything and check it out. Promise you, you will like what you see. So, free to play. Get in the comment section. Fantasy points on FanDuel. Now, let's take a look at that player. Who is it?
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Grinders Live. It is the flagship show here. We're roughly an hour and 40 minutes from tip-off, and we're going to break down some basketball for you guys here on this show today. As always, going to be joined by Kirk. He's Chris Kirkwood today, and he's our analyst today, so that's the guy who's going to give us all the good info. But a lot of stuff to talk about today. We're in pre-show, and we're getting good, big-time news coming in, so it's going to be hectic out there, guys, but just stay tuned and we'll get to all of it. In the meantime, let me talk to Chris Kirkwood. Have you heard of this thing that they're doing here at this RotoGrinders party here in a week? It's going to be a basketball game. Did you hear about this?
I have heard about it.
Did you know you were drafted today?
Yes, I was drafted. I heard from the owner, captain, general manager of the team with a welcome to the squad. And what he expects out of me going forward. So, it's big news. I was happy to hear that, and looking forward to not letting my man Big T down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. He texted me the team he drafted, and looks like a powerhouse here on paper, man. Looks like a powerhouse. I don't see how it's gonna. It's not gonna. I'm not just saying that because he drafted me. I'm saying it because he's got some real athletes on there, which is good because I'm certainly not going to carry anybody's weight these days. I have a hard enough time carrying my own weight, so it's going to be fun.
All I know is I saw that high school football photo, and man, you were a boss back then. I can guarantee you that.
I tell you what, it was a good time back then. Good time, but that's a good 20 years and 20 to 30 pounds ago. So
I want to get one thing off my chest here. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to bring to the squad. I'm going to bring a lot of heart,
mm-hmm.
right? I'm going to bring some dirty game, a little bit. I'm a little crafty. I'm willing to do whatever need to be with the elbows. A decent rebounder. My conditioning is horrendous, right? I've had a lot of injuries through the year. I'm definitely washed at this point. But I told them that, I'm going to do what you need me to do. So loyalty, number one. So if Big T tells me he wants me to take out JSU you know what, JSU, I'm going to take you out, and and I'm not going to feel bad about it. So I'm going to take the man out. I'm willing to do that kind of stuff. And the heart, I definitely have the heart, because you look at guys like Andy Means. Oh man, what a letdown. That dude has no heart. I lost a lot of respect. Like, what is it? He's just embarrassed of what he is nowadays. I'm not embarrassed. I'm going to go and I'm going to put all my ego aside and do what's best for the team, right? If that means sitting and cheering on, being a good, veteran presence in the locker room, that's what I'm going to do. It doesn't matter. But I'm certainly going to show up. I'll tell you that much.
We call that a glue guy. You're the glue guy, man. Every good team needs a glue guy, so you're that guy, which is good. So it's going to be fun times, guys. Just having some fun out there. But before we get into this slate, we got a lot of good stuff to talk about. First of all, I want to tell you that I don't know where you're watching the chat at. You could be watching it on the YouTube page. You could be watching it on the RotoGrinders Live page, which is the YouTube chat, and that's fine too. I have my Discord pulled up, the free chat in Discord pulled up, so that's where I like to interact at. I like that format. If you ask some questions in the YouTube chat, it'll get back to us and we'll answer them later on. But otherwise, the free chat in Discord is where I like to hang out. So you can crack that one open. That's always fun times. And if you are on that YouTube page, guys, like and subscribe button. That's our friends right there. Hit the like and subscribe button. Really helps us out. It goes a long way into keeping these things pumping out. So we need you to hit the like and subscribe if you're watching this. It just pays off so much for us. All right. And lastly, we got the RG badge promo out there. As always, this thing's been out there forever, but RG badge promo, switch out whatever avatar badge you have right now on the site, switch it to an RG badge. There's incentive there, because if you finish in a top 10 in a certain type of contest with a certain number of people out there, then you can win a free month of RotoGrinders Premium. And even if you don't, you're eligible to get a shout out. And that's what I'm doing right now. 3 people here eligible for a shout out here that are going to get them because they switched over their badges. Aztec09, I don't know if you're watching, but you get a shout out. Emmanuel 2008 Reed. Emmanuel Reed 2008. Shout out to you. And Jeff Groff 54. Jeff Groff 54, shout out to you. Appreciate you guys switching over the badges. Tell you what, Kirk, it's just rolling along. Now we're getting news. Andre Drummond is out. Man, whew, buddy. This is
all right, here's another pet peeve of mine, all right?
Talk to me.
Everybody's been talking about Andre Drummond. I've heard about 5 different analysts say this, right? Andre Drummond, he's out with a lip. Who the heck misses with a lip? Like, you know what I mean? It's not a lip. If you watch basketball, you clearly know that he got his tooth knocked out in game. He went and got oral surgery. So this is not a knock on Andre Drummond for like having a bloody lip. This is why I just wanted to let it be known that this is why the man has been out of basketball. And I watched it myself. Anyways.
the thing about Andre Drummond is, it sounds better when you just say lip, because number one, you're picturing Andre Drummond with a big old swollen lip, and then he had the avocado. He missed a game because he ate avocados.
Sure. Now that was a totally different story. But then again, we've all been to Mexico, right?
Dude, yeah. If you tell me the guy's been to Mexico and he missed that game because he drank the water, 100% on board with that. I've seen what that water does to people. The avocado was a little bit interesting.
I missed I got stuck in Mexico City because I took a weird way to Cancun back in the college days, last minute flight. And I missed I got the fish, as Dean would say. Shout out to Dean. Dean, we love you and miss you over here on Grinders Live. But I was in the bathroom and I could not get up off the toilet. Oof. So I missed my flight and I had to wait another 8 hours in Mexico City, just completely hallucinating. So I can feel and I think that anyone who's been there can feel the same.
Yeah, that's definitely not Mexico can get you, man. But all right, the Drummond's out, so we'll attack that later on. We got a lot of injuries to still sort through that we haven't even thought about yet because we've been on air and pre-show, so we didn't even get to it. But before we even get to it, I want to ask you something about do you have a streak going in Sharpside? Because I want to put out some picks today, man. Do you have a streak going in Sharpside?
Okay. Full disclosure, I just signed up yesterday.
Nice.
I made 2 picks that was the exact same game only because I was trying to figure out how to use the app and it was like slow for me. It must have been my internet connection or something. But so I got locked into a pick that I didn't want to make. I was just testing to see if like that would lock it. And then I kind of assumed that it would say like, are you sure you want to make this pick or something like that? And but no, so I got locked. So I'm 1-1 because I bet both sides of the game, but it wasn't the lock pick that won. But I'm on board now. I'm going to be making my plays. And
you got one for today? Give us a pick for today. I know you got something up your sleeve.
Well, I've already locked in the Houston Rockets -5.5 in Minnesota.
Tell me why. I need to know why because the Rockets have been pretty terrible for the last
Rockets
few
have
weeks.
been terrible, and it's been their shooting because I totally expect that Harden is going to rebound the shot. Westbrook's playing at a phenomenal level right now. They just need Harden to get back up to that level, and that's coming. The Wolves defense, there's a monster total. I like Houston in a game where they need to score. I just don't see the Wolves keeping up with scoring, right? There's just a lot of dysfunction on that team. I do expect Cat to have a decent game tonight, but they're just a lot worse defensively. And so I think that the Rockets are going to easily win this game, even though it's on the road tonight.
Good deal. I got my sharp side pulled up. I like Phoenix tonight. It's on the road. They're traveling to San Antonio. I actually locked it in at 4 this morning, but it's actually gone up. I got a bad line because I could have got another half a point there. They're 4.5 now, but I like Phoenix, man. And it's strictly a San Antonio thing. I just don't think San Antonio is very good. Probably shouldn't be favored by 4 over anybody. So I'm going Phoenix, but sharp side, man, lots of good stuff out. The guys, you can win free money. It's money. It's free to enter. Get in that sharp side streak. I actually had a nice little streak going the other day, and it got snapped. It got snapped 2 games ago when Sacramento got blown out. Man, I forget who they got blown out for last. They got blown out last game. Who did they get blown out by? You remember that last game? And they were going up against an injured-ass team that was just – just a bad team, and they got blown out. They didn't just lose; they got blown out. So, not good stuff right there. But so my streak got broke, and I got to start over now, man. But what are you gonna do? All right, man. All right.
It was the Pistons. There was the Pistons.
Detroit, yes. I thought to myself, Detroit sucks so bad. And Drummond is out, and Blake Griffin's out, and how can Detroit be favored over anybody, or how can Detroit beat anybody right now?
Because Derrick Rose has heart.
And the freaking glue guys, man. You got to stick to the glue guys. They're very good at it. But all right, so another little piece of information that just rolled in here that I'm seeing come across my timeline. Kurt, tell me if this does anything for you. Not big right here, but Buddy Hyde is going to be off the bench now. So no longer starting. He's off the bench. Bogdanovich is starting. Does that move the needle for you at all, or just expected? You expected it already, or what?
I certainly did not expect it. I think it's just like Luke Walton trying to make a point here because his team is struggling so bad, and I don't see it really affecting them. Unless he's in the doghouse for something and there's some more to this than what we know, I would expect Buddy to get his normal minutes and just come in, and he's just trying to ignite the team with Bogey. But like, I don't know.
A lot of times that ignites the player himself too. You give him a little demotion, it's a little kick in the pants, and next thing you know, Reggie Jackson will continue to have a minutes restriction of around 20 minutes tonight. Just got that on the RG app, so we can scratch him off the player pool. I assume we don't want no Reggie Jackson in there, right?
He did pretty well the other night in his first game back.
Drummond is out. You never know.
The minutes are going to be a concern.
All right, fair enough. Let's get to what are we going to do here, man? We got so much stuff we can do, so much stuff we can cover. I just want to kind of crank it up and spit some things out, and we'll build a lineup in the process. It could be DraftKings, FanDuel. You have a site preference you want to play on tonight? Let's build a lineup for somebody. Tell me what site you want to focus on today.
Chop, I'm going to say you pick it, but I'm going to give you the choice. My number one is Yahoo, but if not, well, let's do DraftKings.
Let's do DraftKings. I don't want to take your number one away from you. You still need some aces up your sleeve. as you keep building that $1 million balance on Yahoo. I've seen it one time. It's a big number right there. But hey, how's Phil doing these days, by the way?
Oh, Phil's great. Thanks for asking. Appreciate that.
All right, Phil's good deal. Good deal, Phil. All right, let's crank it up, DraftKings. Let's start building. So when you're building a lineup here, are you looking at, first of all, the biggest stud that you can put in there that you like the most, or are you just going to crank it up with the value pick? And how do you initiate your lineup build here on DraftKings?
No, I go value first. We know the studs. The studs are never the first ones in the lineup because, we have to make sure we can fit them. Tonight, that's not going to be a problem. We're going to have value popping up all over the place. But I'm going to see what value plays I like the most and then, start filling in studs around it.
All right. Well, talk to me then. Value plays. I haven't even got a chance to digest it. Okay, let's talk about Boston real quick because we got the information on them. We need to figure out what we're going to do with Boston. Enes Kanter is out. Tatum is out. Now Jaylen Brown is out. Let me refresh the RG page and see if they've updated that. But so Jaylen Brown's out. What does that do for Boston for you?
It certainly moves Kemba up the needle here because the thing you worry about Kemba is what there's a lot that's come out lately is about his role on this Celtics team is to build up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And tonight he's missing both of those guys. Another high usage player or a decently high usage player, and Kanter's gone. There just isn't any other high usage players. Kemba is going to need to shoulder the load for scoring. Now, could they get blown out? Absolutely could. They may play terrible. It might be, we haven't seen them missing all of these people together, but he's going to be out there gunning. He also happens to have the softest matchup because I would expect him to match up with Fultz. So I think that's kind of the weak spot here. So I'm looking for a ton of shots from Kemba in this one. So he would be my number one. From a value standpoint, these are like mid-tier great values, right? Like I think any of these guys are in play. I think it's going to be Hayward, Kemba Walker. I think Marcus Smart is in play. All three of these guys, they're going to have to shoulder this team. And then Daniel Tice is they just don't have any bigs right now, and they're going to need him out there for Vooch. So I think it could be jamming a bunch of these guys. The problem being, though, is that this is not the easiest matchup. It's a slow pace that should play at. They are on the road. So it's not, I as someone who jammed in a bunch of Celtics the other night, it didn't quite pan out that well when they blew out the other team. This team tonight might get blown out, but I think they show up. So I'll say Kemba would be my first guy.
Okay, Boston, you're a Kemba guy, but we can play just about anybody. I agree with that. The news that just came in also was the Andre Drummond thing. Let's talk about Detroit for just a second. No Drummond, no Blake. They're missing all their firepower except for Derrick Rose, who's putting it together now. What do we think about Detroit and their value? We know we can play Rose, even though the salary is creeping up. But is there any value on that team that you trust? Because, man, I don't, for as many shots and minutes there is to go around, it's an ugly value. I mean, they're burning out guys like Tony Snell. I'm not going to play Tony Snell.
I think Rose is. I think like these mid-tier guys who are going to be out there gunning are values tonight. So like okay. I consider Derrick Rose a pretty decent value tonight. Again, just like he was the other night. I think he was on the lower end of his minutes range because of a blowout, which your team was on the wrong side of that one, Sacramento. So he missed some of that fourth quarter run, and was pulled out early. Still put up 47 fantasy points. Took 17 shots, 21 shots in the game before it. What do the last two teams that he played have in common? Well, it was Washington and Sacramento. These are both two fast-paced teams. Sacramento isn't playing fast on the season overall, but ever since January 1st, basically, ever since they've gotten De'Aaron Fox back, this team is cranking, has been top 10 in pace. So they're actually a better pace-up spot than you would think. And so I think Derrick Rose is going to, again, get a ton of shots. So I like him. I guess the two real values are the same as they were the other night. It's going to be between Christian Wood and Markieff. Okay,
so no Thon Maker for you?
I mean, I'm just not using these low use. If these guys have a good game, great. But I don't think we need them. I think, for just a little bit more, we can get Christian Wood, a guy who they should be rolling out more, but did get 25 minutes in the last game, shot extremely well. So he kind of exceeded what he should have put up. But this is a guy who can rebound, can block shots, can excel in this faster pace. Also, he can shoot the three. And so I think we could see more minutes for him. They should. We've been calling for more minutes all year out of this guy. And we haven't really got him. But 25 is a nice amount and should be just fine for his salary at $4,700 on DK. Markieff is another one too. It's just if he's on the court, we know what he can do, right? We know what he brings to the table. Now he could get in foul trouble. He could have terrible games. He's definitely in play for all of those things, but he also could put up 40 fantasy points tonight, and I wouldn't blink an eye.
Yeah, let's try to start building a little shell of a lineup here. Then where do we start tonight? I mean, there's a lot of games. So there's stud players, there's great mid-range players that we've talked about, and then there's some lower dollar guys. We're going GPP, so we want to be a little bit different. Let me pull up some ownership numbers here, guys. If you're looking at my screen, I'm in Lineup HQ. All right, so we got a guy like Dwayne Dedman, who's a nice price and a good value play, but he's 42% owned. I don't have to go there in GPPs. Thaddeus Young, we're projecting at 37% owned. Good. These are good players. Some of these guys like that, I don't have to go there in the GPP wise. Where do we start at tonight?
Man, so let's talk about Dedman, right?
Okay.
Because I don't see a way that he busts tonight.
All right.
Only thing they see is, okay, so maybe this game goes smaller, right? Which we know could easily happen because, Chicago is definitely missing all of their bigs, right? They're going to be relying on Luke Cornett. So this game could definitely go smaller. So I guess there's risk there of him getting squeezed off the court, especially when they throw Buddy back in. Dedman could be the first guy to go. But if that's not the case, which I'm assuming they're going to – the thing I like about Dedman is that he got 31 minutes in the last game, and that was against Andre Drummondless Detroit Pistons, right? So they had an opportunity to go smaller, and they just didn't do it. And he certainly was a great play at 30 fantasy points. Now, tonight is the nut of all matchups, the best matchup you could possibly have. We know Chicago can't rebound. They play semi-fast. They play a little bit faster than they used to play, but still it's a matchup that we're just eat on the front court, right? They give up tons of blocks, tons of steals. These are all ways that Dedman can get there. If this guy's playing 25 minutes plus, then I don't see how he doesn't pay off his price tag. So I still think I would play him in GPPs. I'm definitely not fading him. Now, who are some of the guys that you want to naturally pivot to him? I mean, I guess Daniel Tice could be in play for a little bit more at 5,300, right? Same scenario, but he's going to be semi-chalky too, correct?
I would imagine that with this latest news, I think the Boston Celtics in general probably be pretty chalky. We don't have to. I'm gonna put in Dedman. So if you don't want to go Dedman and Tice, or we don't have to pivot from Dedman. We can get different elsewhere. It is a GPP. It doesn't mean you have to fade those guys. I don't. I think he deserves. He'll be on some of my rosters tonight, but I don't think I'm gonna lock him in per se. But he'll be on some rosters. You just never know. Wasn't this the same guy who was throwing a fit and wanted to be traded a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, so he wants to be traded. So the Kings are a mess right now. The Kings would absolutely like to trade him, right? So why not showcase him in the best possible matchup you have, right, when they don't have anyone left? I mean, Bagley's out, Holmes is out, so it just makes a lot of sense for Dwayne Dedman to play a lot of minutes. Now, like I said, if this game goes super small, he could get run off the court.
Fair enough. We can plug that in there. It doesn't have to go crazy here. He just has to pay off this salary. It's up to 4.6 on Draftkings. It's not light anymore, but it's definitely doable. What's our next player here? Are now we're going to start to attack the Derrick Rose type players and the guys who have things opened up for them because of injury now?
Sure. I mean, that makes sense. So who do you prefer between Kemba and Derrick Rose?
Kemba by a mile for me, but they both have. There's no reason not to play both of them though.
I mean that's true. That's going to be chalky. I think that's going to be like definitely a chalk cash game.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get some. I'm gonna have to refresh this. I don't know if these ownership numbers are right because we're only calling for 9% on Rose and 10% on Kemba. That's got to be wrong.
Yeah, it's probably Jamino's probably trying to fix all that as we speak.
He might be taking a
news.
nap.
And sometimes when news just starts getting crazy, you just take a step back for a minute. You're like, okay, just let it all come in, and then you go. So maybe he's doing that.
Okay, so let me see. If I had to pick though, it's for sure Kemba Walker.
Okay, so let's at least throw him in there.
Oh man, let's do that. Okay, we got two guys, Kemba and Dedmon. Where can we go to get a little bit different, still have some big upside? Do you think the studs today, the Hardens, the Karl Anthony Towns, Westbrook, the guys you've already talked about a couple of them, but do they get lost in the mix now with the mid-range opening up and people plugging in Kemba and Rose and maybe some of the mid-range guys, maybe the top-end guys get a little bit lost?
Yeah, correct. So a guy I definitely do like is Karl Anthony Towns, who I think is not going to get much love tonight.
Yeah, we got him only 8%
at his price tag at 10.2. Now there's definitely some better point per dollar plays in there at the positions. Like a guy like Jokic who just came off of his triple double in a game that they weren't even that good in. He gets that really fast paced, a lot of possessions matchup with the Pelicans. He could absolutely eat tonight, and he's cheaper, so I think he'll garner a lot more ownership. But like Towns, if there's one thing you guys remember, like Towns used to just absolutely demolish the Rockets, but certainly has a good history with them. Not that means much, but like the things, he's definitely healthy. He looks good now. He's starting to get creep up for minutes. He got 35 minutes against the Nuggets. This was a guy who was like a number one fantasy pick for like season long stuff coming, this was absolutely his year. And, the issues with his knee or whatever have kind of put him out of favor. But like another guy that really affected his performance was Jeff Teague. So this is a time to start buying on Karl Anthony Towns. He's going to erupt and start having some massive games. And this is a nice pace up spot a little bit. Both teams are actually playing fast. The Wolves are playing faster this year, but still they're not playing at that level that the Rockets like to push the pace. So he's going to have to score and a lot. And you got guys like that he's sharing the court with. The only thing is, did you see Andrew Wiggins the other night?
I did not.
All right, so this guy is just pathetic, loves to stand in the corner. Actually had a good game in his last game, and it was because he got called – turns out he got called out by Coach Saunders at halftime and singled out to start taking on more responsibility and to start scoring and start doing things. And he did. He came out and he did that, and he had a monster second half. Do we think we're going to see more of that again tonight? I don't know, right? Like, it's Andrew Wiggins. But one thing I do know is that Karl Anthony Towns, when he's on the court, if this game stays competitive, is going to eat.
I get behind that, man. Let's talk about, because that's going to be our stud. I doubt we're going to be able to put two of them in there, but that's a good stud. Let's talk about some of the elite guys. First off, Harden and Westbrook teammates. Sometimes Westbrook actually outperforms James Harden these days because Harden's just in a shooting slump period. So out of those two, which one do you prefer tonight, Westbrook or Harden?
I'm usually it depends on pricing. So what's his pricing on DK's 10-4?
11-1 and 10-4.
There's no way on DraftKings. It would be James Harden for sure.
Okay, James Harden. Some of these other studs. We're playing Karl Anthony Towns and Dedmon, so we're locked into our center and our utility. Can't play any more pure centers. But what's your feel on Jokic? Jokic is in a spot tonight. It feels like he could have a blow-up game, man. Like Jokic they're missing a lot of guys too over there. This could be a good Jokic night. What do you think about Jokic?
He also could bust a little potentially in this situation. The Nuggets, without some of their key guys aren't playing the best form of basketball. They're playing extremely slow pace. He kind of struggles in the faster paced games. So I do like him from the standpoint of like with the guys out, like and the way that the offense flows through him. He's going to have every opportunity to go off, right? And he got a triple-double the other night. So I do like him, but I do worry about him enough that's why I was saying like I definitely like Karl Anthony Towns more than him. I'll tell you who my favorite play is.
I'm ready for it.
And I think he's gonna go. He's gonna go a little bit overlooked now that a lot of this Derrick Rose and Kemba Walker are shooting up. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
You blew my mind with that one. I wasn't expecting that one to come out. Talk to me about Shea Butter.
So yeah, I mean this is his squad, right? OKC. I mean this guy. I'm a huge Shea stan. I love this guy. But he's absolutely been crushing over these last 7 games, right? Some of them with Gallo out, but this is a guy who's taking a big leap forward. He's commanding high usage on this squad. He's doing everything. His defensive stats have been up consistently now over this period, which is what we've been waiting for him because he's a great defensive player. This is a matchup at such a fast pace that I think just suits him a lot better than Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul is going to gain a lot of ownership tonight. And I think the easiest play for me is just to fade Chris Paul and go over to Shea. When I was talking about defensive stats, this is the game for Shea. The Hawks, 29th in opponent blocks, 30th in opponent steals, 6th in pace. So it's up in pace. He's at home. They give up tons of defensive stats. He's in great form. Just all systems go. His price is a little bit high on DK. People aren't going to want to play him. I think he's also a phenomenal play on Yahoo, where Andrew Wiggins may end up being more popular than him, and I would take Shea in a heartbeat.
Yeah, when I pull up the player card here, you notice some things jump out here, and it's not just the game logs. The game logs are good, but when you can compare the sites all side by side, and you see the $31 on Yahoo is a good price, such a good price. His ownership on Yahoo is over 20%. All the other sites combined is 10%. Draftkings were projecting him at around 2%, FanDuel 3%. So he's not getting the love over there because of the price tag, but at only $31 on Yahoo, that 21% stands out. He's a very, very good play over there. So I like that, man. I like that. So let's talk about some small forwards, though, because when we're building this lineup, eventually we're going to have to play one. Sometimes it's a tricky position here. But 2 guys are going against each other tonight. I always like this narrative when you get 2 stud players at the same position. They could end up even guarding each other. And they're studs here, man. Kawhi Leonard and Jimmy Butler. Big price tag on Leonard, not as big on Butler. 2 studs. I'm sure. I know Jimmy Butler gets up for games like these. I don't know if Kawhi still has it in him, but after his team got smoked the last game to a Trae Young-less Atlanta Hawks, I would imagine Kawhi is kind of maybe going to take this game a little more seriously tonight. You have any interest in either one of those guys? If not, talk to me about some small forwards we can plug in here.
Well, if you pull up, Kawhi is certainly another guy who's just been the model of consistency. Now the team's been struggling a little bit, but he in particular has just been beasting. 64 in the last game, 65 before that, 50, 61. This is just game log, 47, 61. But he's playing deep minutes. He's playing over 30 minutes. The team hasn't been as extremely competitive. I expect this game will be competitive. And Paul George is out. So it's pretty easy. He commands 37% usage when Paul George is on the floor. It's clearly it's everything for Kawhi. It's ISO plays. He is this entire offense when he's on the floor. So I'm expecting big minutes out of him. I think he's an awesome play tonight.
Yeah, one thing about Kawhi. So when I got his RG player card pulled up here too. All right, so this is what's we're doing a tournament build. You're playing GPPs, right? You look on FanDuel. We got his projected 35% ownership. It's a great play on FanDuel. So he's going to jump up to 35 on Yahoo, 22%. Great play on Yahoo. FantasyDraft, 15%. Okay, still a pretty big number on this kind of a slate. DraftKings, because of the price tag, less than 7% ownership. So in a GPP, if he's worthy of garnering all that ownership on the other sides, because we know he's going to produce, but nobody's going to take him on DraftKings because the price tag is just a little bit too much for him. It's out of their range. They'd rather play somebody else. Makes for a great tournament play on DraftKings. Those numbers don't lie, man. If an NBA player in this day and age is 35% owned on a 10-game slate on a site, it's because he's a good play. There's no secrets out there, man. This stuff isn't rocket science anymore. The projections kind of do the trick for you. You know that everybody's plugging them in. He's that high for a reason. But because of the price tag not going to be as high on DraftKings, I think he makes for a great tournament play on DraftKings, man. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. Same price as Karl Anthony Towns. I think both of those guys have monster games ahead of them tonight.
We got Kim in there. I want another Boston guy because they're so thin. Gordon Hayward at small forward. Should we plug him in?
Oh, man.
Oh, you're not. That's your boy. That's your boys, man.
I just hate
Celtics.
him. Hate him.
He's had some good games lately.
I'll probably end up playing him tonight.
Well, tell me, give me another small forward if you don't like him. I thought you'd be all on that. He's Celtic.
No, I just hate having to play him because I hate him as a Celtic, so I just hate having to play him. I think he's a good play tonight. I think any of these Celtics guys are just going to have to be good plays, and they're just going to have to score. And who are the guys that are capable of scoring? It's going to be Smart. It's going to be.
I got one for you. Let's do another small forward. I don't even know if we can fit him in, but we'll try to make it happen. Here, tournament, man. This just screams tournament for me. All right, Will Barton at 0.25% ownership. I'm not a Will Barton he's a good fantasy player. They've got some injuries there. That's such a low number. It's such a big price tag. But you mentioned you didn't like Jokic as much. He could bust because of the pace. The pace has to help Will Barton. It has to help a guy like Barton, right? Just helter-skelter, man. He's just all over the place anyway. So what do you think about plugging in Will Barton? I mean, I know we could save $500 and go Gordon Hayward, but then we're also going to get a lot higher ownership. What do you think about Will Barton, man?
I do. I like that. I like it. I like that call, Chop. I also like Monty Morris in this one, who hasn't performed up to the level that we want him to, but he's starting to shoot more. He just hasn't had a really good shooting game yet. He's playing 30 minutes. This is actually the best possible matchup for point guards. With this pace, there's going to be so many extra possessions. He's going to get the minutes. So I can't see Monty Morris really busting in this one. I think he provides a nice, safe floor, but I think that we haven't seen that upside game that we know is in there, and I think tonight you're going to see that. So I like both of those guys. It would definitely be those are the guys that I'm looking to because of that pace up spot, which is what you were saying.
Yeah, let's see what we can work with here. So eventually here we're going to have to start saving some money, or else we're going to have to remove like a Will Barton or even a Shai Gilgeous or something like that. Is there any place we can save some money that you still feel like has some upside to it?
I mean, there's plenty. So is Thad Young going to get the start now? Because Lauri Markkanen's out. 4,600. He's a guy that could certainly, with the right minutes, could certainly put up a solid game. He's going to be I'm sure he's moving towards chalk as we speak right now. Yeah, but so who do we prefer? Christian Wood, Thad Young, or Markieff Morris? Yeah,
that's a good one. I typically I don't know, man. I kind of got spoiled on the Christian Wood thing for that week or 2 weeks last year. So it's where I have a bias towards him. I know he has that kind of upside, so I'm always going to say Wood. But who do you like out of those three guys?
I think Markieff is the play, and I think he's probably going to be the least owned of them. And so that's the guy. If I think all these guys are good plays, but on a night where we're going to have to be somewhat cognizant of chalk and leverage, I think Markieff is a guy that a lot of people don't like playing. So I think you'll see more of the sharper players playing him and putting him in more lineups than you do in the lower buying stuff. So Markieff would be the guy.
All right, let's plug in some Markieff Morris. He's a former Kansas Jayhawk along with his twin brother. And they're kind of hotheads. They've been known to lose their temper at times. Did you happen to catch the Kansas Jayhawk fight the other night?
That was bananas.
That was something crazy. So hopefully it's not.
You know what? I'm hoping the RG basketball tournament breaks out a little something like that.
Well, I don't want to mention no names, but I've seen Dan Bach go a little crazy on hard fouls before. If he when he gets fouled hard, I've seen Dan Bach grab guys by the neck and get a little.
Here's the question, right? Here's the question. I preached loyalty, right? I said that I'll do whatever my coach asks of me. What if Coach Big T says it's time to take out the boss man?
Oh man,
Dan Bach, he's got to go.
Do
I give him the lane to the hoop and then just cheap foul his ass?
You gotta weigh your decision there. Like
no more shows. No more
value
shows.
The Grinders Live shows. You could get totally run off like Odin did, So you ain't got no shows left. I don't know, man. Tough call there, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Hopefully it's such those games are blowouts and we even got to worry about that stuff. By the way, we're gonna find anybody out there to put some money on that. We need to put some money down on that. I kind of like our team now, man. Right? So let's see if somebody's got some money and they want to run that back. But all right, building this team right here. I'll plug in Morris. Unfortunately, we don't have quite enough to make this happen. So. Is Will Barton was that too much of a luxury? You want to go back to the Will Barton pick and maybe go cheaper there so we can actually make a team here? Because we only got 2,800 left over for that last spot if we did it like this. We got to take somebody out. Let's get old Will out.
He's got to go.
Let's figure out that would leave us 2 spots, $5,000. Throw me another name in that range.
Did we already put Monty in?
Yes, Monte's in there.
All right. All right. So we're looking at well, what positions do we have available?
I think I could probably – let me see. Is Markeith a strictly power forward or –
No, we've got.
We need a small forward. At some point, we're having to go back to small forward. Or unless Shea Gildress a small forward?
Here's a guy who's just way too cheap, Jeremy Lamb.
Let me pull up old Lamb here. That's a good name, right? Wait a minute. Lamb, who's he play for? Indiana now? Oh, I thought he still played for Charlotte. I was like,
Brogdon's out.
Oh, Brogdon's out tonight. That's right. So many injuries tonight.
He's 4,400. He's playing the Warriors, who are just pathetic on the defensive end of the court. Lamb has not been great this season. Certainly struggled a lot, but he's going to have the opportunity for a potential big game there. He's really stunk it up in the last 3. All 3 were terrible matchups. He had a good matchup against Minnesota. Put up 32 fantasy points in that one. This is a really strong matchup. So like 4,400, right? Brogdon out. That sounds like a good play to me.
I agree. Lamb is a guy. What's good about him is we've seen his whole career. When he gets an opportunity, there's usually a lot of upside there. So I like upside. So we can get it there. And we plug that in. Guys, that would leave you with plenty of money for that last spot. I'm not going to fill out a whole lineup, and this is just kind of a shell thing. We're just talking through it. But if you went something along these lines, just switched up a player or two, you got plenty of money there left over for that last spot. So, I think that's good enough. Guys, if you have any questions, you can fire them up. You can fire them up in the YouTube chat. I'll get those via – my producer will give them, or you fire them up in the Discord chat. We'll answer some Discord questions. And otherwise, let's talk about, I don't know, what do you want to talk about, man? Where do we got to go here? Who else is out tonight? We got to talk about some more injuries here, man. This is what the people need to, let's talk about
your boy Tony Snell is out.
No way.
Yep, just got ruled out.
That's big. That's huge.
Huge.
It's huge, man. Now it's gonna open up about.
I mean, let's talk about the Pistons just in general, right? All these guys are good players. There's just lack of bodies. There's lack of scores. They're playing Memphis, which they just play at such a blistering fast pace, and are poor on the defensive end. That this is just a great spot. So all these guys are good plays.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So. I mean, that's going to open up a lot more minutes, man, right? Minutes equal the money. you've watched more basketball on the TV than I have, and sometimes the numbers can lie when you're just looking at the numbers. This Sevi kid, what do you like? Is he a guy who can truly benefit here? I mean, he seems like
absolutely. He's absolutely legit. He's raw. He's really raw. He's extremely young. He's like the youngest player in the NBA right now. But he's extremely talented. He's had some decent games. He's going to have his opportunity. The minutes are going to be there. You have to worry a little bit about foul trouble with him. But, he's definitely in play.
Fair enough, man. I like that because you look at the numbers. The numbers are there, man. The numbers don't look bad. I'm going to go to FanDuel now. Let's go to some FanDuel picks here. Maybe there's some guys on FanDuel that stand out money-wise that are just a little bit too cheap. Deadman over there is way too cheap. You mentioned Markieff Morris. We got him in our lineup over there, another cheap guy. Aaron Holiday is popping. Aaron Holiday is popping on FanDuel because he's down to 3.8K and the stone cold minimum is 3.5K. We got the injury to Brogdon. Aaron Holiday, part of I think there's like 7 Holiday brothers in the NBA. What about Aaron? Where does Aaron rank on your Holiday scale?
Be careful. He looks like an awesome play if he's back to like how he was playing when previously when Brogdon was out. TJ McConnell has taken on the starting role now, so he's still
a couple of big games back to back for TJ.
Yep. So TJ, I fully expect to start. The problem with Holiday is he's got a sore right thumb, and he's been like questionable a lot of days. He's missed some games. And it's on his shooting hand. So that's kind of the problem with him, is that he's battling an injury on his shooting hand. Now, if he's fine, he's a high usage player when he's on the court. So I do like him, especially if, with the situation, especially with the matchup. The matchup is as good as it gets, right, against Golden State. But you want to be, I don't feel extremely confident with him, but great GPP play, but don't go like overboard with him.
Just looking at FanDuel, like there used to be a site out there, a DFS site, where if you didn't use all your salary, you got credited with like extra DFS points to where and your opponent could use more salary than was the allotted cap, but they would get, some points taken away from them. You know what I mean? I don't know. I know you don't remember it, but that's the way it was. Weird. It lasted very shortly. It didn't last a long time. I mention it because I look at FanDuel tonight. I could legit build a team here of all guys under $6,000 each and fill it out with good play. Look at Ricky Rubio is 5.
Yeah, Rubio is a cash game lock on FanDuel tonight. I
would agree. That's crazy. You got. What do you think about Adams 5.7K against that weak Atlanta front line?
Yeah, let me check if he's if we got any new news with him.
Yeah, him.
He's currently questionable. Missed the last game with his left ankle. Yeah. I kind of hope Adams is out. If Adams plays, yeah, sure. I hope Adams out, because then that gives us another option in Nerlens Noel.
Oh gosh, man, Noel would smash Atlanta. Noel. Yeah. You got under
blocks and steals.
Yes. Under 6K. Your boy Gordon Hayward's under 6K over there. Monty Morris is under 5K. You could build a legit team on FanDuel with nothing but cheap guys and feel pretty good about their upside. I don't think the salary cap is much of an issue over there, guys. So that would lead me to think that you could fire up some studs on FanDuel. Maybe 3 of them. You might be able to get like 3 studs in your lineup tonight. If you're picking with the position breakdown over there and you're stuck with the positions, give me the 3 studs you would play on FanDuel.
Oh man. From doesn't matter if it's cash or GPP.
We're GPP guys here.
I mean, Harden is the best stud, in my opinion. The shot's gonna come back.
Okay, so if you had that's your overall top play, just raw points.
Correct. Okay. Some other guys that I think are certainly good plays. Well, I think Zach LaVine is certainly in line for a great game now, especially with the sneaky fast pace that Sacramento's playing with. And Laurie now being out should just be plenty of extra shots for LaVine. I mean, this guy's going to take as many shots as he can take. And he might get a little bit overlooked, but he's certainly a stud that I would like to play, especially on FanDuel. I mean, like, we don't need these monster high set. Like you said, like, we can build such a good lineup with players in like that mid range. There's so many good plays on FanDuel in that mid range. But like, even like guy like Pascal Siakam against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden, once he's starting to get back into form here. People have kind of forgot about him. He's 7,300. Like, I like. Who else is here? Oh, I'll tell you my favorite, like, kind of mid-range play. Lou Williams. No one's going to play this guy after what he did to him the other night.
Yeah, true that.
Right? And it was actually it's actually a blessing in disguise that Kawhi is back. As long as one of Kawhi and Paul George are out, then he's a great play. It actually helps to his benefit, with as far as like defense is keying in on him, to have someone like Kawhi available. So I think I think he's a great bounce back spot tonight, especially, and the Heat may be missing a lot of their backcourt.
Man, you brought him up, and it's a good point. I think the big another team that got some injuries that we didn't even get to talk about, the Clippers. Pat Beverly's out. That's going to open up a lot for Lou Williams, who, like, he disappointed in that game against Atlanta, and he still dropped 34.5 FanDuel points. I mean, that's still not bad, and that was probably roughly his floor, right? Like, he barely got there, and that was at the end with those 34 points. Lou Williams, big time play. I like that right there. And you're right, Kawhi back only helps him out. So, got a few questions for you here, man. I'm gonna fire up some questions for you. All right, we got about 5. We'll stick around for about 5 more minutes here. Schroeder, and Karl Anthony Towns, or would you rather go Bogdanovich and Vucevic?
Well, I'll go. I mean, the safer one is the second pairing, but because Schroeder, you don't know what you get, but I think you'll get a good game out of Schroeder tonight. So I'll take the first one just because I like Towns so much.
Just speaking of Bogdanovich, one guy wants to know how do you feel about him now that we know that he's going to start and Hyde is coming off the bench, or does that even change your Bogdanovich projection at all?
I think it helps his minutes, but it's certainly not a benefit to him to be on the court with De'Aaron Fox. I mean, it will be from a shooting perspective. Like, he might get like some open shots, but like, we kind of want this guy when he's facilitating the offense, right? When he's leading it. And so I think he's a fine play. I just don't see monster upside.
Fair enough. We got one right here. I think this one's pretty easy for you because you've hit on it all show. Dedmon or Portis on FanDuel?
Bobby Portis?
I mean, I assume it's Bobby. I don't know. I don't even know how that's really a question, but
it's not Clinton. Hear about him?
What happened? No, what happened to Clinton?
He's going to jail and.
Not Clinton Portis. He won me a bunch of fantasy leagues back in the day.
Way back in the day. Yep. Anyways, I would definitely take Dedmon. I don't see that caveat. I said if this game goes super small, which is kind of possible. But the writing was kind of on the wall with me when they started him anyway when Andre Drummond was out. And so I think Dedmon's going to be showcased tonight. So I just can't see him failing if we're going to get anywhere north of 25 minutes with him.
Rank these 3 guys for our YouTube peoples. Rank Gordon Hayward, Will Barton, and Gallinari. And this is for cash games.
It's right in the order you said them. Hayward,
yeah,
and
Martin.
then Gallo last.
Fair enough. Rahino wants to know Ricky Rubio on FanDuel. You have so much love for him. Is it just the price? Why do you like him so much?
Price matchup is certainly fine too. As I do remember off the top of my head, just like he's really good for some reason against the Spurs. But, I mean, it's just a price play. I mean, this guy's been great all season long. The Spurs defense is horrendous this season. They're a decently good match. They're actually a great matchup for opposing point guards, even though you would think that, like, DeJounte Murray, who just doesn't play enough minutes, and they've actually been – for some reason, they've been playing Derek White more and Patty Mills more. But like Rubio is as solid a play at that price point as you can get. Like it's just a misprice.
Got some big news for you here, Chris. Big news. Willie Cauley-Stein got traded to Dallas.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That does make sense. It makes a lot of sense. So that could be very interesting for all those parties right there. What do you think about – we didn't even talk about this guy. But Trae Young, as pointed out in chat, is back in Oklahoma tonight, fresh off of the fresh off the All-Star game announcement. What do you think about Trae Young? We didn't even because there's so many studs. What do you think about Trae?
You just sold me.
A little narrative street. You gotta love it.
Yeah, let's take a stroll.
Why not? If you're running a bunch of lineups, sure, throw some Trae Young.
I mean,
in there.
Trae's a phenomenal play. At
a good fantasy player, man.
Yeah, there's massive upside. Now, is it a tough matchup? Yeah, absolutely. Do they have good defenders? Yes, they do. They got Chris Paul and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to slow them down, and some of their other guys that are pretty decent on the wing. Although they're missing some. They're missing Ferguson. They're missing a few of their better wing defenders too. But I mean, I like his price. So you just sold me with that narrative. So I absolutely play some.
Gotta love some narrative street. DraftKings GPP, Karl Anthony Towns or Kawhi Leonard? We kind of talked on that. You're a big Towns fan tonight, right?
I'm a Towns guy. I like them both. For GPP, I'd play Towns. I just think that there's more upside. I think he's got the potential to go off. I think for like a cash game play, I think they're both good, but I think Kawhi is safer.
Our boy Rylan Ronnie in the Discord chat wants to know, and this is last year I would have totally brushed off this guy, but he wants to know how you feel about Dylan Brooks. I was kind of glancing at it the other day.
We got to ask Grant. Grant has been all over Dylan Brooks lately.
He's actually produced some pretty good stat lines this year, man.
Yeah, I can see it, but I also kind of think that Ja Morant is a nice bounce back play tonight.
Any love for Miles Turner tonight? Miles Turner.
Yeah, definitely. Why not? Right? Like Brogdon's out. The problem is sharing the court with Sabonis. The thing is though is that what I guess we're gonna see Spellman go back to playing center, but in theory, if you think about matchups, Sabonis will match up with Draymond, and so Miles Turner should pretty much be able to eat on anybody that they put on him. So if you can project a kind of a down game for Sabonis in this one, it's got to go somewhere else, especially in this, with a defense as poor as Golden State. So Miles Turner is cheap, and he makes for an extremely logical candidate to take on a lot of that.
Fair enough. Question for you. It's a 2 versus 2. Levine and our boy Jeremy Lamb, or we go Marcus Smart and Derrick Rose, 2v2.
GPP?
It is a single entry GPP.
Let's go number 1.
Levine and I agree with that. People with Marcus Smart can be good, but he can also be a team wrecker, man. Fantasy team, not real. He's a glue guy in real life, man. But
he's my favorite Celtic, bar none.
He's a glue guy.
Actually, Jalen's my favorite. Smart number 2, but Smart is a dog. He is the Celtics team, like the heart. I aspire to be like that in the RG.
This is gonna be good. I'm ready for it. I got one for you here. Wood, I guess that's Christian Wood. Grant or Tice in cash? You know what? I like Grant. I'll throw that out there. What do you think about those three? But I like Grant. He's done me pretty good. Almost his whole career. When he's had good opportunities.
Are they all the same price?
They're roughly in the same neighborhood.
So if that's the case, then Grant's minutes are the most secure with all these guys out, and he'll see some run at center in this game too, because he's been kind of backing up center and starting. So I think the pace sets up pretty well for him in this one. So what do we want with like Jeremy Grant games? We want a fast-paced game. We want a lot of defensive stats, right? That's what
helter-skelter, man.
That's what the Pelicans bring to the table, right? So like, boom, let's go Grant.
Although
all the other guys are great. Like those are 3 all good plays.
So here's a good strategy question for you, and this is one of those things you have to think about here. We built a team earlier. And we locked up the center spot and the utility spot with another center, so 2 centers, Dedmon and Karl Anthony Towns. But let's say we get the news Steven Adams is out here and Nerlens Noel pop. Do we take one of those guys out and put in Nerlens? And if so, which one? Do we just kind of swap Dedmon and Noel, who are probably similar priced? Or do we just blow up that team, put Noel on there with Dedmon, and then that way we could upgrade another position? So let's say Adams gets ruled out here, and we've already got 2 centers on there. Which one do we drop if either one of them?
So who are the ones that are in there right now?
We put in Dedmon and Karl Anthony Towns on our GPP team.
Oh, man. I guess Noel is like a great pivot off of Dedmon, but like I would love to play them both and then maybe end up we'll use because I like Kawhi and Towns so similarly. I think we could use the position scarcity.
What in the world?
And
now, I got some news for you. Real quick news for you here.
Who is it now?
Kendrick Nunn is out and Goran Dragic is out.
Yeah,
2 guys out.
Sometimes those backcourt. So, man, maybe – no, we're not going to see Deion Waiters.
Does this just open things up for Tyler Hero?
I mean, in Butler's – Hero smash play. Absolutely. Duncan Robinson, good play. Jimmy Butler, great play. And that's about it.
Tell you what, man, that's about it is about right. We're going to get up out of here. I've got a lot of work to do because news was kind of rolling in there for us for the last hour, and I'm not even vaguely prepared for it. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate Kirk hanging out with me for an hour before he does his $1 million lineups over there on Yahoo. We know how that guy gets. Looking forward to this big basketball game at the party, Kirk. Are you ready?
I'm just glad that you're coming to the party. I get to meet you in person and get to hang a little bit. That honestly, that's up there for me.
Have we never met in person? We've never met in person. Oh.
No, I mean, I wish I could bring Phil and introduce Phil to you too, man. Like,
you could put him on the plane as your what do they call those dogs that help the people? The emotional dogs.
Yeah, emotional support. I need all of them. Like that should be like a DFS dog, emotional support dog.
There you go. Bring Phil, man. All
That's what he is. But last but not least, I'm looking forward to you at least going out one night and drinks are on you because you won $1 million. So, like, you know what I mean?
Tell you something, Kirk. The only reason I come to these things is because the drinks are on RG.
That's true.
I may have won $1 million, but never forget that they just closed one of the biggest deals in the history of Nashville for their company. So, and that was only 40%. So we're all good. We're well taken care of out there by the guys. Again, guys, appreciate you tuning in. Good luck in those GPPs tonight. We got a lot of work to do tonight. So until next time, that's Kirkwood. I'm Head Chopper, and we're out of here.